Hi, and welcome to Shattered Truth. Today I'm sharing my story about my best friend's betrayal with my boyfriend. Let's go.
I watched my best friend step out of a ride chair in front of my apartment, hair pinned up with the exact black claw clip I gave her last month, and I understand that everything is about to tilt. She spots my boyfriend's car under the street lamp. Her shoulders set, her mouth softens into that careful smile she saves for rooms she wants to win. I stand behind the peephole and keep breathing in slow counts. Tonight is supposed to be casual. Tonight is supposed to be harmless. Tonight is a test I pretend I'm not running. I hold the deadbolt with one thumb and let her knock twice. I make myself count all the ways this can still become nothing, and I feel each way fall through the floor before I reach 5. I moved to Spokane, Washington 3 months ago with 2 suitcases and a promise to myself to stop letting other people write my scenes. I rented a studio with brick walls and a stubborn faucet. I met Evan during a volunteer shift at a neighborhood art center. He carried a crate of folding chairs and laughed with his whole chest. I met Maya a week after that at a coffee shop. She asked for a charger and left with my number and a plan for thrift store Saturdays. We became a new triangle. The city felt manageable. We traded playlists and errands and the kind of favors that make a week feel less heavy. I kept my calendar full and my days moving because momentum felt like safety. I liked how it all stacked. I liked the promise that came with choosing people on purpose. 2 weeks ago, Maya suggested we all try a late-night escape room. Evan offered to drive. I watched them buzz as a unit during the puzzle where the lights flickered and the safe clicked open. She brushed his sleeve when she found the blacklight marker. He brushed it off as a joke. We celebrated afterward with greasy food and loud music. I kept track of their small collisions. On the ride home, she asked him about a band, and he said he loved them, and I thought about how he had never mentioned that band to me. The next morning, she sent me a photo of a vinyl she found at a resale shop and told me she thought he would like it. She asked if she should grab it for him. I typed that he could choose his own records. I erased it and told her to grab it. She sent a heart. I pressed my tongue to the roof of my mouth and tasted metal. Since then, the leaks arrived on a schedule I did not set. He began staying a little later at his climbing gym. She started sending me reels about belay devices with captions that announced how much she was learning lately. He forgot the charger at my place. She texted a photo of a charger she found in her tote and said she would swing by later to return it to whoever needed it. He asked if I could send him the stir-fry recipe. She posted a story about trying a mere stir-fry and tagged me only after I prompted her privately. He used my bathroom and left the medicine cabinet ajar. A new brand of lip balm appeared near the sink, with its cap missing and a faint groove where a thumbnail had pressed too hard. I recognized the exact shade of the plastic cap from the convenience store near Maya's building. I told myself it was mine. I told myself it had always been here. I closed the cabinet gently and kept my hands busy. I do not confront. I document. I buy a tiny motion sensor camera shaped like a carbon monoxide detector and mount it above the corner shelf across from my couch. I tell myself it is for safety, like everyone says when they want permission. I tell myself it is to check on my cat when I eventually adopt one. I angle it so the kitchen counter and the entryway both sit inside its oval view. I test it while Evan showers, and it sends a silent alert to my phone when he walks out in a towel, singing a chorus I don't recognize. I disable audio capture because I don't want to record his voice without consent. I tell myself I am respecting lines, even as I draw new ones. I go to sleep with the phone under my pillow and wake up when the screen buzzes, pulse already sprinting. The alert shows my door opening, Evan stepping inside, and another shape behind him. The timestamp says 2:37 in the morning. I watch the grainy clip and see Maya's shoulder. I watch them stand in the entryway, too close because it is very late, and people forget space when it is very late.
I watch him hand her a tote, and I watch her lean on the door frame as if it were hers. The clip ends after 30 seconds. I stare until the screen dims. I do not sleep. I do not cry. I put water on the stove for coffee and dump it into the sink before it boils. I imagine the exact sentence that would make everything stop, and I cannot find it. At 9, I see a text from Maya that says she was near my building after a show and thought she saw my light on and wanted to drop the charger. She writes that she did not want to wake me and hopes it was okay. She adds an emoji that tries to soften it. I reply that I was asleep and that next time she should text first. I keep my thumbs floating above the keyboard and let the unsent words hum in my bones. Evan sends nothing that morning. I spend my lunch break sorting kitchen drawers that do not need sorting. I try to make the counter look like a place where truths arrive and sit down politely. The counter looks like a counter. The truth keeps its shoes on and paces. I decide I need to drag the triangle into the same room and force the geometry to admit itself. I invite both of them for a movie night that requires nothing but couches and takeout. I choose a day that gives me just enough time to steady the knife I've been balancing on my palms. I clean the apartment with a focus that borders on ritual. I press my phone into the side table so the camera sees and my hands can rest. I choose a film none of us had seen, so no one can hide in nostalgia. I order a pizza with half pepperoni because Maya avoids pork and Evan pretends not to like grease. I place 3 glasses on the table and a 4th behind a book, as if a neutral witness might drink from it. I rehearse how to shape my face. I settle on something between kindness and a doorway. Maya arrives first. She smells like a boutique aisle and walks as if she has tickets to something exclusive. She hands me a bakery box, says it's just a sweet thing for later, in a tone that promises innocence. She kicks off her shoes as if this place has accepted her terms. She looks at the apartments across the courtyard and comments on the new patio lights I refuse to notice. I keep my hands in motion, plates out, napkins down, remote visible. She glances at the framed photos on the bookshelf and pretends to fix one that does not need fixing. I watch the way her fingers hover over the edge of the frame that holds Evan and me on a park bench. She never quite touches the glass. She asks if the pizza's running late and laughs in a light way that anoints rooms. I say it should be here soon. My voice sounds like it belongs to a neighbor I'd barely know. Evan arrives second with an energy that tries to warm, and he places a grocery bag on the counter as if offerings remove stains. He announces that he brought sparkling water and pretzels. He scans the room for friction. He finds surface and offers chatter as spackle. The 3 of us settle into places that are not quite our usual places. The movie begins. The movie becomes an alibi too thin to wear. I tell them I am going to pause the film for dessert. I lift the lid of the bakery box and see 3 slices of cake cut clean and precise. I plate them and carry them to the coffee table like fragile evidence. Maya compliments the fork selection as if this is a real category. Evan says he forgot his hoodie and asks if it's okay if he adjusts the thermostat. I nod and watch him move toward the hallway. He glances toward the shelf where the camera hides in plain sight. He does not see it. He reaches for the thermostat and pretends to study it. I recognize the exact way he pretends because I taught him that pretend on a dull Tuesday when we ran out of things to fix. Maya leans back and crosses one leg over the other and tilts her head like a person in a magazine demonstrating boredom. I hold my plate without tasting it. I feel something in my chest click into a new setting. The new setting does not allow me to keep pretending that 2 coincidences can live in one hallway. I open the camera app on my phone and cast the live feed to the TV with 3 taps. The film freezes in a close-up frame and then dissolves into the wide oval view of my own living room from above the shelf. We now watch ourselves from a witness no one invited. Maya sits up without adjusting her face. Evan freezes mid-step, one hand still hovering near the thermostat. I say nothing, because silence is now my only clean tool. The timestamp in the corner blinks. I swipe to the saved clip from 2:37 a.m. The screen shows Evan entering with his keys and Maya stepping in behind him, tote on her shoulder, hair down, eyes bright. The clip plays to the end, where she leans on my doorframe like she's listening for a secret from inside the wood. The clip stops. The room becomes noisy with the kind of quiet that punishes. I feel my throat try to open and close around the words I am not allowed to speak. I watch both of their faces learn the shape of the rope they twisted without my consent. I keep my hands by my sides and concentrate on not shaking. I let the evidence breathe for them since they will not. He moves first. He takes 2 steps toward the TV and then remembers that the TV is a skin and not a person. His jaw tightens and releases and tightens. He touches his own wrist as if checking for a pulse he has misplaced. She moves second. She tilts her chin the way she does when she calculates outcomes, and she chooses the outcome where she becomes the calmest person in the room by force. She smooths her hair and angles her knee and keeps her breathing exact. My breathing tries to match hers and then refuses. I keep counting the choices that led to this room. I count the flirty puzzle and the vinyl and the charger and the lip balm and the rideshare and the 237. I count the ways I might have been generous. I arrive at 0 generosity owed. I think about whether to ask them to leave in turns or together. I decide I want them to witness each other while they face me. I pull the bakery box toward me and close the lid as if sealing a scene. I press stop on the TV and unplug the casting. The remote clicks with a sound that feels like a sentence. My mouth finally moves. Not a speech, not a scream. Just a verdict delivered as an action. I pick up Evan's keys from the bowl and hold them out until he takes them. I point to the door. He hesitates long enough to confirm the person he is. He leaves. The hallway swallows his footsteps. The elevator hums. Maya does not stand. She remains on the couch and watches me like a person sorting a recipe in her head. She opens her mouth to craft a story and I refuse to receive it. I lift my phone and type a short message to the building manager about adding her name to the list of people who are no longer welcome without me. I hit send and watch the sending bar complete. I move to the kitchen and wipe the counter that does not need wiping and place her bakery box beside the sink as if to quarantine it. She finally stands and reaches for her tote, and the room shifts to accommodate the empty shape her body will leave. She walks to the door and pauses, as if expecting a last-minute reversal. I offer none. She opens the door and exits into the hallway's neutral light. The latch catches. The air makes no comment. I lock the door and engage the deadbolt and secure the chain with a movement that feels practiced now. I lean against the wood for one measured breath. I push away and face the silent TV and the fork abandoned on the plate and the camera blinking in obedient red. I gather the plates and return them to the sink, stack them, rinse them, line them on the drying mat. I choose to structure the mess in the only way available to me, piece by piece. I plug the small camera into the charger because there will be other nights, and I intend to be the only person who writes them. I sit on the edge of the coffee table and rest my palms on my knees and feel the steadiness return. I pick up the remote and turn the movie back on. The scene resumes where it froze. The characters move forward because that is their job. I watch them and accept the assignment. I hope my story kept you hooked. Please support the channel, subscribe, leave a like, and share with your friends.